help me welcome everyone to our event. I think this is our first event for August. Really exciting. Thank you all for coming. Just some housekeeping before we start. I think you may know, I think most people have been here, but in case you need to go to toilets, it's just outside, or there's a toilet at the back there for disability. Yeah, exit. You can exit through here, or you can exit through the main door. I'm just gonna lock the main door just so there's no like random people that come in. So if you need to exit through the other door, just press the green button to exit. And then yeah, there's food at the back as well. So at the end of the talk, we're gonna invite you all to eat. So feel free to eat at the end of the presentation. So yeah, welcome all to this session. I'm sure there's a lot of really amazing home cooks out there, but maybe you might need some, like, maybe you don't know the process of like signing up to be an official home-based business. Hence why we've brought Mysara and Shields here just to give a little bit for them to share their experience in being a council-approved home-based business. But just quickly, I just want to introduce them. Just give me 1 second. Let me find my little thing. So Mysara and Shields are co-founders of Wawasan Aspiring Ladies of Victoria. Mysara is a full-time IT professional and a part-time home-based business baker, which I think your business is Manis Butter Prima, is that right? Yeah. And then Shields also, like I said, is a co-founder of Wawasan Aspiring Ladies of Victoria, and she's also a healthcare professional. So that's a little bit about them. They're gonna take the floor, and I think will there be time at the end for questions? Is that fine? Yeah. So yeah, at the end, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them as well. So I'll pass it on to Mysara and Shields.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll try to stay put here so that I won't block the slides. So thank you very much for attending. So today, Sheila and I, we are going to cover pretty much a few points on how to go about setting up a home-based food business legally and operate legally and safely. Okay, so in this program, we're gonna cover understanding the home food business basics, what are the legal requirements and the food safety regulation, navigating council approval processes, how to set up and operate your home food business, and also the ongoing compliance and the business growth. Okay, so understanding home food business basic. So I'm sure we can go to the next slide. Okay. So first and foremost, to undergo a home food business, you need to understand what is your business scope, right? I'm sure you all have inspirations like to have a business for probably have a good income on the side, outside of your normal day-to-day work. You want to operate your business from home. So basically, home food business means you prepare the food safely within a residential kitchen setting. Yeah, and of course, the business scope includes a diverse range of products, such as baked goods, as an example, preserved and other homemade foods. And then, of course, understanding the scopes, limit, and opportunities, which is essential for success of your home food business. So this one is case by case. So some people, they want to do, like for myself, I operate a home-based business that is only baking. So I don't do like all those gravy, rice and noodles and stuff. But I know Sheila does that on the side. So if you can go to the next slide. So what are the benefits and challenges of running a home food business from home? So obviously, one of the decision making, one of the reason is mainly due to the lower overhead costs, because if you were to find a commercial kitchen space, you need to pay rent, and there are a lot of other overhead costs that you need to factor in, like utilities and making sure you're profitable. Also, with working from home, running a business from home will allow you for flexible working hours so that you can balance your work and personal life effectively. And also space limitation. So from home, basically you have a limited kitchen and storage space, and which sometimes allow you to be more productive in your business. And then health and safety compliance, this is a very crucial, which we will cover more in the next slide. I think this is the most crucial part in setting up a home food business. So you must meet the health standard, and if there is a need to, you must adjust to whatever the regulations are that is set up for your business. Okay. Now in Victoria, this slide is, I think, the most important part before you start. You need to understand what are the risk categories of the food. So this is in Victoria alone, and for other states, it might differ. So there are four classes. So 4 classes of risk categories. The highest tier is the class 1. So class 1 is basically you operate or handle food, preparing food more for the vulnerable population. So meaning you are preparing food for aged care, hospitals or childcare. Yeah, they are a vulnerable population. Or provide meals through services like Meals on Wheels, so to the public. Class 2, which is the next tier, these are businesses that prepare food which are potentially hazardous, and it requires a very strict temperature control. So what I mean by hazardous is not like chemicals or anything like that, meaning to say that when you handle ingredients such as eggs or dairy or milk, because some people they are very they have allergies to eggs, they have allergies to milk, and anything relating to eggs and milk and also meat, they are considered hazardous. Yeah. Class 3A similar, they are also preparing hazardous food, but yeah. So it's similar to class 2, but it's a slightly lower tier than class 2. So for example, there are home-based business or accommodation premises that handle specific food activities such as preparing for guests. Okay. Class 3 is a lower risk, so it's more for pre-packaged. So class 3 and 4 is more for like pre-packaged products. So if you have seen like some businesses, they sell home-baked cookies. So these cookies sometimes in the stores they sell a premix, and just like mix water and then just bake. So it's really very low risk. So they can be classified under these classes. So for each of these classes, the higher the tier is more costly. The lower the tier, the renewal process is slightly cheaper. So next slide. So these are just an example of what you can prepare from home. There's the options is limitless. So as long as you know what you want to do, what are the products that you want to make, and you need to make sure that you comply whatever ingredients that you use. So if let's say your products include eggs and dairy in them, then there will be strict temperature control. So you must maintain that temperature control, and this will be audited by the council. We'll touch base on that later on when we get to the slide more on the council requirements. Okay, so these are some examples. So I mentioned the handling of eggs, custard, and meats are considered class 2 risk category. Okay, legal requirements. Okay, before you start, how do you want to start? So you have an idea. You have an idea. You want to set up maybe a business for baking cookies. Okay, just a small product. How do you go about to start? Where's your starting point? So first and foremost, you need to have license and permits, meaning to say you must have a food handling and food safety supervisor certification. So these two are separate. Someone can have a food handling certification, but they might not have the supervisor certification. Food handling means you can prepare. If you are certified for that particular certification, you can do the preparation, but you are not authorized to sign off, like temperature checks and do those kind of things. So it's more like a more managerial position, like a supervisor position. So the best is to undergo both, right? You do the food handling and then you also do the supervisor course. This is mandatory, so this is prerequisite. When you go to the council for approval, they will ask for this documentation. Where is your certificate? And how up to date is your certificate? In the past, I believe there's no expiry date, but recently they start to introduce a 5-year, they want to make sure that your certification is within the 5-year mark, the past 5 years. So you need to constantly upgrade yourself, which I recently did, because when I first started for Manis by Aprima, I started in 2019. And then I know some of you might have known that I also did my Cert 4 in Patisserie sometime last year. So that is my kind of like upgrading, just to make sure that I stay relevant in the field and also my certification is relevant. Now, second part is the local council approval. So obviously, not just having the certification, you need to also comply with the council approvals. This is more on the where you want to conduct at the home. Do you want to operate it in your garage, in your kitchen, in your backyard? Must be compliant to where you're going to conduct this business. So most of the time, it will be in the kitchen, is where you prepare food, but you know, some people, they like to do things outside because they want less mess inside, right? So they open up their so-called cooking area and washing area all outside. So whether or not it is approved, will the council approve for you to conduct it outside? And then when your house have pets, for example, you have cats, you have some other furry animals, how will you deal with them not going into your workspace area? So, which is also one reason why I have no pets at home, because of these strict requirements. It's not to say that you can't have pets at all, you can, but then you will be scrutinized on how you manage your pets with your work area. Okay. Then health department permits, this is basically within the council, they have a health environment officer. There's a department just to manage your health related, to ensure that you are compliant in that area. So that's where the risk category, just now that I explained, comes in. If you are category class 2, so what you need to do. You're in class 3, what you need to do. So there's just strict definition in terms of procedures. And last but not least, you must have a business registration. So everyone can have an idea and do your cooking and baking, but without a business registration, it's not allowed. You must have a business registration, and to operate without a business registration, the fine is quite hefty. It's quite close to 1,000 if you're caught. So they will check year on year. Okay. So these are some of the examples. Like if you're not sure where to take your food handling and supervisor certification, there's a lot, like online classes. There's so many, but I'm naming some example. This is where Sheila and I took our courses online. So Clear to Work is a good website. They have so many courses, not just for health and safety. You want to do other areas of trades, you can go to Clear to Work. Everything you will do on your own is a self-assessment thing. You finish up everything, but towards the end of the courses, you must so-called be attached to like a cafe or a restaurant, and you must basically, it's like a work placement, right? So even if you go to like a school or trade school, after you study your theory, do practical at school, and then they want you to work outside and then clock in your hours. So they have this concept also. So you need to know and find. Just go to cafe and say, excuse me, do you want like work placement people? I need to work for how many hours, and then see if you can get your chance to clock in the hours. So like I said, you need the course number here. In the past, used to be a different unit number. Now is SITX FSA 005 and 006. So 005 is the level 1, so that is the food handling. 006 is the level 2, that is the supervisor punya course. Okay, there's another one specific to health and community, which I've put there, the third one. Of course, if you don't want to do online and you want to go like a more school-based, the example William Anglis Institute and some other CTA also, they conduct this kind of courses. Okay, these are just a few things. Okay, kitchen hygiene, you must maintain kitchen hygiene. Pest control, you need to make sure that all your rubbish bins are closed and, you know, don't attract rats and roaches. And then proper food storage. So I know from experience, I have a health officer came to my house to do inspection. That this is a very frequent thing. If you have a home food business, they will come and say that I want to conduct inspection. So you allow them, and then they will ask, okay, where do you store your nuts? Where do you store your flour, your dry goods? Where do you store your eggs? So this is my own personal experience. So before I was with before the current council, I was with the Whittlesea Council. They are much more stricter. Okay, they are very strict in the sense that if you are storing your food with wood, it's an absolute no. You cannot store. So sometimes you want to use like a very like very arty, like chiller with a wood base, like where people keep like sometimes they put wine, you know, those wine chillers, and then it looks very nice, and then you want to use that as a display, right? Because sometimes people put their food, they put wood as a display. So when you food in contact with food is a huge no. So what it is, they asked me to, okay, this is not allowed, you need this to be replaced. So I have to change it. I have to find like a tray, something that I can put into the dishwasher and, you know, wash it with hot water, basically. That's important. So I have to customize my fridge in a way because it's not grill, it was like a wooden, it's more for display, but it's not allowed. And then where to store eggs. You know how your fridge has eggs where you put at the door, right? When you open the door, you put your eggs there. That is also not allowed. That's how Whittlesea Council works. They say you have to store your eggs right at the bottom because what happens if your egg breaks? And then it's going to contaminate all your other food inside the fridge. So that level of strictness, they are very particular. Once you know what are the things that they expect, that is the expectation. For each inspection, you must make sure that, you know, you comply to that kind of requirement. Okay, so if you move on to the next one. So labeling and packaging. So this is more for information to your customer. So like for example, some of your customer might have nut allergy or cow's milk allergy. The importance of labeling. You need to be able to label. In the past, this is optional. But I think lately they start to make it they're more strict on this thing. You need to label and minimally put the ingredients list. They need to know whether you have like dairy or eggs and things like that. And they must be accurate and the packaging must be safe. Okay, and it has to comply with, again, the food safety regulation. Next one. Okay, council approval process. Okay, so I am going to pass over to Sheila for this section. So maybe she can also share with you her experience.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Okay, so basically for me, yes, like what Sarah said, my home-based business is more to hot and cold food lah. So I don't actually do baking. So mostly macam like if you guys know like macam kita buat mee rebus, nasi sambal goreng and that kind of thing. On and off I buat Dubai chocolate to desserts. Yes, I did. But this is my business concept lah. So basically, in terms of researching local councils' regulations, so kita have to email the councils like providing your business plans. So first of all, just email your council. Like for example, for us, we live here in Thanet, so Wyndham is our council. Kan? So what we do is just tell them, this is my business plan. I would like to have a home-based business set up, and can you let me know what are the details? And so someone will come back to you within 10 days, and definitely they will give you all the fact sheets and everything else, and so you can provide, while waiting for all these things, you can do your supervisor punya course and everything else, and then after that you have to prepare your building permit. So maksudnya macam mana? So it means actually you just have to get your 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 home punya plan tu. So they want to see where is your sink, where is your kitchen. You have to circle those areas yang you nak the council audit. So also, kalau you ada water trade permit, they just want to know where's your permit that you get your water from, and then landlord approval if you are actually renting or leasing lah. Kita orang nak kena actually ask approval from your landlord. So, and FYI, I think Sarah pun ada experience sendiri. So sometimes your landlord will actually increase a bit of the fees, weekly fees for the house because they want to also take the opportunity from the apa ni? Correct. So basically just take note, sometimes you may have this type of landlords will ask you a bit of $50 extra per week. But if you have your own home, kirakan this is like tak payah bayar apa-apa lah. Kan? So after that, your business plan. Nowadays with ChatGPT or whatever, AI, you can actually just develop your business plan. Just say what you want to sell, and then they will provide you even the the metrics like who's your business customers and you want to your audience your customers that you want to concentrate on. So macam like me, I will say that I want to concentrate within the Wyndham Council, and if I will be providing anything beyond, I will get my delivery person to help me out with the transport for the food. Okay, so health inspection, like what Sarah said, no wood storage with food, store your eggs below. In fact, if you have your own freezer, your meat must also be underneath, on the bottom. Because kita tak nak macam nanti all the darah-darah, like just mengalir, that's also contamination and they don't like to see all these things. So whatever you do, you need to plan whether ada macam, or predict is that going to cause any contamination in the future. And then, also disinfectant, they also would love to see what type of disinfectant that you will use. So you will store at the area macam bawah sink. So make sure lah, it's very easy, you can get at Amazon or anywhere. And this disinfectant plus sanitizer, so it's two separate things. So you just need to make sure that you have all these things available during your inspection. Yeah. Dengan bacterial hand wash, usually I use Dettol je lah. Anything that is macam hospital grade, then they are okay with it. So macam kita ni ada 2 sink, like for me, so each sink I will have my paper towels and also my hand wash, bacterial hand wash lah. So just to kirakan macam during audit, like to show them that I'm really ready for this, So you need to pay for the food license. That time is nearly about 800 for the whole process. So around that price. And then you need to have your own insurance. Ni again, I know a lot of people that are registered, they lupa nak buat public liability insurance, which I think is really important. So kita buat dengan BIS BIS something, I can't lupa pula. So BIS insurance, something like that. And I have to pay monthly lah, because just to, kalau nak pay seluput, kalau tiba tak jual pun macam waste money kan. So we do it like in a way monthly, so I can stop anytime, but it's up to the person lah kalau dia nak buat macam mana. But you need to make sure you have at least about 10 million to cover. So macam let's say you nak buat like macam bazaar, you nak organize something, you need more than 10 million lah. So it will go up to 20 millions to 30 millions. In that it means your insurance will be a bit more expensive. Okay. Now double bowl thing. So council, they always want to make sure that you have a double bowl thing. Kalau you ada single sekarang, you need to start renovating. The whole thing you need to change. So this is my advice. Unless you have another sink on the other end, which is near to the place that you're going to audit your kitchen. Meaning, kalau let's say this is a certain mix, let's say 10 square meter lah. Let's say this area is your kitchen. If you have a single sink, you must have another sink. Okay? You cannot have like just one sink which is single. You need to have a double sink. kalau you ada satu sink, but you must change to double sink lah kalau it's a single sink. So you faham tak what I mean? So just make sure you have a double sink at the end of the day.
So it can be separated, or you can have one sink area, but it's a double bowl. Some sinks have, one is for washing your utensils, and the other one is for hand wash. They want to make sure you separate that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the correct thing lah. So you need to have a double bowl sink, and then the grease trap. Grease trap ni depends on your what type of food you're going to sell lah. Usually kalau macam kedai, yes, they need all these grease trap. Tapi kat our like home base, you don't need all these things. Usually council won't ask for this lah. And then no mats in kitchen. Yes, you can't have mats on the floor when you are selling or doing on that day, because that is the place where you audit. Or to be honest, kalau you tengah nak audit tu, kalau boleh buatlah splendid clean, remove all the unwanted that you know they will be questioning. So we'll try to remove every single thing. In fact, macam Thermomix yang you buat untuk masak for your own home based, your own home cooked food, you can't use and share with to sell for others. Because they will question how you separate your selling of your food and cooking your food for your customers versus for your own.
So you have to have like
Yes.
a set just solely like that's only for yourself.
Betul. So
Sometimes you will need 2 fridges, 2 freezers. So I have 2 mixers,
Right. So
just to separate out between home use and consumer use. So it's very important. So you have to factor that in your budget when you think about all this planning. So it's not easy. Like you can plan for, okay, I want to sell, but the things you need to make sure you comply.
invest lah.
You have to invest a little bit more, just so that they won't question you in future. So
Correct.
it's a one-time investment. Of course, you can resell it if you don't want to continue with your business. You can always, sell it, but that's a requirement.
Yes, so kirakan, to be honest, there's a lot of investment we did when we wanted to start this home-based business. But inshallah, whatever that we do, we can cover the cost lah. You have to just take maybe 1 to 2 years probably to cover all these utensils and all this stuff. But think about the positive outline, which you want a clear audit, you want everything go smooth. That's all you need. And in fact, sekarang all the freezers and fridge is pretty cheap. You don't need to buy so expensive. Freezer can get about 600, 500, so it's pretty cheap. Now, you want to understand the zoning laws. Like I've already mentioned about the Wyndham, within Wyndham, that's where I want to sell. But if anything beyond, I have a delivery. Okay, or you do your own delivery. So you need to answer that lah, because the environmental health officer, or we call it EHO, they will ask you questions as if they are the ones going to order the food from you, and they want to ask how you prepare from the start till the end, and how you're going to pass this food to your customer. And then they will talk about the how your customer will come, how you're gonna make sure there's not many people, where they can distract the parking areas along your house, because they are worried that the neighbors will be complaining. So these are the things they will actually ask. And then identify permitted activities. Usually you just have to let them know what you want to cook. And like I said, use your ChatGPT, for example, to outline your menus, or change your menus, and make sure that the menus are easier to understand, because these people are not the one who are like us, who knows your food. So they're probably orang Arab ke orang anyone who will want to know, okay, this is how you prepare nasi lemak, this is how you prepare mee rebus, or then they will see, okay, there's nuts here, so how are you going to deal with someone who has allergy? Then I just straight away I say, my business, I don't deal with any you have to say that you're not dealing with that. So it's a lot of things now. You just have to make sure that you are really doing it.
I just want to add something about customers collecting or you delivering. So where your food temperature is very important. So if you have cold foods, when you are doing delivery, you must ensure from your house. So you need to ensure from your house to wherever that you want to deliver, you must maintain that food temperature, because otherwise it may lead to contamination. So if you do the online courses, the one that I mentioned, they will teach you about the 2 to 4 hour rule, how excuse me, how long you can keep the food at certain temperature. They will check. So even my fridge, they will ask what thermometer are you using. So I have plenty of thermometers because I said if one is not working, I have a backup. Sometimes I use 2 at a time just to make sure they are both in sync. Even my oven thermometer, when I bake, I don't just rely on my oven temperature. I have an oven thermometer. I have 2 even, just to make sure that their temperatures are in sync. Because then I have to record all these temperatures. They want to see. Like let's say today I'm gonna bake maybe tapak kuda, for example, and then I need to use my oven and bake it for, let's say, 180 degrees. I must record down 180 degrees. That's what my oven temperature say. And then when I keep it chill in the fridge, is it below 5? If your fridge is above 5, so when they come and they check with their thermometer and they see that why is their thermometer reading and my thermometer reading is not the same, they will mark a defect. Okay, they will treat it like a defect, then I have to correct it. And then how do I clean the thermometer? Like in the past, they are not really strict on this regard, but lately, I need to prove that I actually have alcohol swipe to clean the thermometers to make sure that, you know, because sometimes you probe your, like you masak chicken or something, right? You need to check that your chicken in the right temperature. So having a good thermometer and a lot of it is useful.
Yeah, true. And in fact, the EHO will be also using their own thermometer to check your fridge temperature. So they will do all this in front of you lah. So they will do their own inspection in front of you. So you will learn and you will observe, and then you will learn the next time what you have to do in the next audit lah. Okay. And then of course you need to follow the application process. Okay, next will be what, so I already said about the detailed business plan. You can do a comprehensive business plan as available from AI. You don't have to stress about it. It's so useful. I even use that just because not I'm lazy, but well, the platform, why not use it, right? And then just change the sentencing and what is cater to what you need. And then kitchen layouts design, which we already said, just send it to the council with all those details. And then the safety measures documentation. I learned, so Sarah and one of my other friends is Yu, who's from Delish by me. They are my mentors when I was applying this. I always ask their questions and when we wanted to apply lah. So every like macam Yu pula, she has her own way of how to actually do her safety protocols, like dia punya checklist. So I adopt from her, and it is really good because it will be easy for me to understand, okay, the 2 to 4 hour rules if you guys join in for the safety supervisor course, everything will be in there. And then like how Sarah said, that how you want to maintain the temperature, how you want to thaw your meats and everything. These will be the questions that were asked by the EHO. So macam you need to be really confident lah macam mana you nak jawab. So for example, kalau kata okay, today like tomorrow you will be having your sales. So how are you going to prepare this meal to this dish? Can you share with me? So I have to like, okay, I will buy the meat as of the day before, and then I can actually put in my freezer, and then the time that one day before I can just put in my fridge. So, or you can thaw it in a microwave, or you can just run by cold water. Okay, so tak boleh pakai hot water lah, just to prevent contamination. So these are the kind of questions they will ask, and then complete the documentation for approval. This is the kind of the same lah, follow up. Kat sini kita nak kena follow up with everything, yeah, because if you don't follow up, it will take very long. So just keep following up. Okay, next will be scheduling inspection and addressing feedback. So you have to have a scheduled required inspection. So your EHO will let you know when are you free for the inspection. So and then you will come back with another yearly inspection. But sometimes, as for Sarah pula, dia ada experience and she has a sudden audit tiba-tiba. So it can happen. So is in fact, if you are not at home, is too bad lah, you cannot do the inspection, you know. So but it can happen that they can do a random audit. Yeah, and prompt feedback resolutions. So address the feedback that they gave, and then if there's any non-compliance, for example, macam let's say just this new AHO came to me recently for the audit. So he was like saying maybe you want to get a bottle for your sanitizer, that would be better. Then he put that in his report, and then I just have to comply. I just show him a picture after that I've done, and I've bought these bottles, and I've the spray bottles, and then he said, okay, thank you so much for following up, and then okay, I've already completed your audit, and you can get your certificate in 2 weeks, something like that. So these are the things that will let you macam follow up, and then after that, once everything is done, you will get your certificate. Okay. Okay, now you want to set up. So kita tadi Sarah pun dah cakap, also dah cakap you have a designated kitchen zone. Make sure that you separate lah your pantry. Kadang orang will ask, do I have to separate my own versus my customer? So to be honest, I asked my Wyndham Council, but don't quote me. My Wyndham Council, they said it's okay as long you do all this macam labeling. And your expiry date is very important. Okay, so as long you look neat and organized, they are fine with it. They will check lah, but they won't like check every single things. In fact, macam your tomato sauce, ketchup, they also will, kalau if they're rajin, they will check also. But they are looking at whether you are very organized or not. So you just prepare that way, and make sure whatever you do, there's no cross contamination. Meaning, if I'm using my let's say one part of my area is to prepare all the food, macam meats and everything. That's why I need to use my food sanitizer after that, after finishing doing all those stuff. And then where is the place that I'm going to prepare, like macam probably when I say not prepare, all the lauk-lauk yang dah siap tu, so where should I keep? So they want to know where you put every kat mana-mana tu. So you need to prepare your speech lah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Organized kitchen, tu dah cakap, and then improve kitchen efficiency. I think if based on your house, pretty easy, pretty efficient. So you just want to know, like, you tak kekok lah bila you want to answer to the AHO, because you just want to make sure you cover all the cross contamination. So the most important thing is to understand how it works on yourself, and then you can answer properly to the AHO. Because kalau you tersalah cakap, and then he will ask more for the prompting, and then there will be a bit of a then there you go. Because I have friends yang tersalah cakap and everything, and then they didn't get the certificate because of they said that they don't sell this, but tiba-tiba tercakap, oh, I sell beef. Then that is another problem. Kenapa kau tak like show the menu for the beef recipe ke apa? So you have to make sure you say what you put in the business proposal. Yeah. And then food safety procedure, yeah, just to prevent contamination. As you can see, everything you do is to prevent contamination. Cleaning practices, like I said, sanitizer and disinfectant with your bacterial hand wash is the most important thing that you need to have. And then ingredients. So for ingredients, whatever that you source, all the receipts must be kept, and then you're not gonna staple lah with whatever file that you have for your own business. So for example, if anything macam ada suddenly your customer say, I got macam food diarrhea daripada you, so at least you know where you get your ingredients from, macam Coles ke daripada Mamara ke example. So you have to keep your receipt until probably 1 or 2 years lah, just in case. And that's why your public liability insurance is very important. Waste management system, you need to know where you keep all your macam sampah sarap ni semua. So just make sure that you have it close, because you want to make sure you reduce pest control. Macam like some houses nowadays semua dah hidden at the drawer, so it's also easier. Ongoing compliance. Okay, so maintaining food and safety, health, hygiene records. So like I said, kita can have all these checklists. So you can use your checklist, and then temperature log maintenance. So you just have to make sure that you do a daily check or weekly check, or when the day that you are doing your business. Also the source tracking for ingredients. So just make sure your record semua ada lah. Mm, yeah, I've already mentioned about the regular inspection, and you can always apply yearly until you feel like you don't want to do anymore. So you tak payah register balik lah. But if you are doing and you have that passion, just make sure that you are compliance with the permit. And in conclusion, kita just make sure that kita go through carefully with your preparation. If you are going to start your home-based business, so there's a lot of planning, organization, a lot of money to invest in the beginning. You need to know where you want to put your tempat masak or your apa benda tu semua, or the periuk belanga in one place, and then for your own kat tempat lain. Even rice cooker, you need to also have a separate one for your customer. Regulatory compliance, adhering to council regulations and obtaining necessary approvals. So this one thing I nak share. So once you have your council dah approve for your home base, then kalau you nak jual kat bazaar, you need to apply another permit. That's about 200-ish. So yearly about 100 plus. You just have to register for the first one, a bit mahal, but after that it will be 100 plus. And then you can set at many bazaar like how me and you buat lah. So that's what we want to expose ourselves. So that will be a good point for people to sell in a legal way. And then commitment to quality. To maintain high standard of food quality and safety is crucial for customer satisfaction. So when I don't know, but when people know that you are approved kitchen, home based, I think there will be more confidence into the customer, and also for yourself, like as a business person, business owner, kita pun rasa macam okay, I feel like everything is settled. Anything happen, I have all these clause and covered for my customer. Another thing that me and Sarah would like to also share is that just for people to know, so if we're not complying, there are always we will say that there are fines, and the fines can be very heavy, penalty. Yeah, you can show. Sarah will show an example of what the council will send in the bottom of what's the fine prices lah. And you guys also may know that sometimes we want to protect, like say we want to protect our business. Kadang kita tak boleh percaya dengan kawan-kawan, dengan siapa-siapa, neighbor ni semua. They always feel a little bit macam kenapa ramai orang kat rumah dia kadang kita tahu orang buat warung ni semua. That's within us. Tapi kalau boleh jangan expose sangat lah, because when more people know, that's the big problem. There's so many issues within orang share, like TikTokers, they like it, they went to the person's place and then they share, and that home-based business which is not legal dah tak boleh buat. But you know what, our council is very friendly, very helpful. In fact, they will give you a way that you can actually get all the information from there, and they will help you. So that doesn't mean that, I'm going to fine you straight. No, they will actually just warning, and then lepas tu they will give you, I'm not telling you that you're going to open your bazaar kat rumah kan, but what I'm trying to say is kalau boleh kita buat secara betul. Yeah, and then jadi tak payah necessary stress kalau aku kena tangkap, like all this kind of thing. So as you can see, kat bawah tu, if you are failure to comply or you tak buat pre-registration, your fine can be $988 for unregistered business, up to $1,976 for a company. So this is the fines that will carry if you are not complying to the council regulation. But again, our main objective is to share for others, for everyone who wanted to start up their home-based business, and it's going to be a very good platform, because insyaAllah if there's everything, kalau ada bazaar ke kat sini, because kurang kan dekat daerah west ni, maybe insyaAllah we can gather all these home-based business to open up bazaar and make it lively around the west. Rather than buka kedai selalu tertutup, baik kita buka home-based business, like help and support one another, So that's one thing from us. Anything that kita
maybe we open up
any questions from the ground?
Abang Zul, the question?
Being a business, home-based business with a name, you need to have an ABN.
Yes.
And on top of that, is there any benefit with the ATOs?
Yes, so basically kalau you register your business, this is business registration, and then you will have your apa ni ATN number, so you can count your you get a proper accountant who can help you keep your receipt, because your receipt is the most important thing. Like apa you invest, you can consider that as your loss and your profit, and then Sarah can add on.
So, I'm not too savvy on tax matters, but if you have a home business, from what I understand, if you are not making
20,000.
profits, I think there's a 20,000 cap that if you are not meeting that 20,000, that they will mark you as like a loss for that year. So it will just depreciate, right?
Yeah.
So the best to get a good accountant. So if you have your own personal tax accountant who does your own tax, and if you have a business, get them to do for your business kali, and then they can just, you know, sometimes things that you can claim from your business versus what you can claim for your full-time job, they can not say play around with it. Like I mean, like you can use some of these, macam you buy a vacuum, for example, right? That sometimes you claim under your work from home. If you use it for your kitchen, then you know you can utilize that more for like your expenditure, just to meet, you know, your expenses for your business. So this one, more tax matters, best to get a tax professional to work it out. But yes, ABN is a must. And also I want to mention with the certification, just now I mentioned you need to have a food handling cert and a safety supervisor cert. So I know there are many in the community who thinks that, oh, I have these 2 cert already, that means I can already do jualan, you know, or I can safeguard myself, I dah ada food handling. But that in itself is not enough. Okay, yes, you can do jualan, but where you conduct your business is very important. And like I said, different, like Sheila is working with Wyndham Council. Wyndham Council can have their own rules versus like Murabul, my council is Murabul right now. Sometimes can be a bit more lax, you know, if you get a good health officer, they can be a bit more lenient. There was one time my health officer went on maternity leave, and then the replacement guy came and he saw my candle nuts. He said, I've not seen this. I said, okay, this is more for personal use. I'm not using candle nuts in my cakes. But I'm curious and said, why is it stored along with your flour and all that? Then it opens up a lot of questions. So then my next audit, I just make sure that I keep my candle nuts away from. So all these kind of things, once you go through the first audit, it will, you know, you are more prepared for your next audit and anticipate this kind of questions. Okay. Any other questions?
Even your dishwasher must have a good temperature. I think it's about 70.
Yep.
About 70 at least for the dishwashing compliance lah. So making sure that you have the dishwasher. Kalau macam you pakai periuk belanga yang besar, that's where you can wash in your sink. Lepas tu you have to use your sanitizer at the end to make sure that it is not going to have any contamination. So they just want to know how you do. So these are the things which I learned, and it's a learning in progress kind of thing. Maybe every environmental health officer has different cara kan, but like I said, your whatever that you put in your business proposal, they will read on that day again, and then they will look through all your menus, your labeling, and making sure kalau you buat macam, let's say kalau macam some of us, kita buat macam frozen item, so kita nak kena make sure it's sealed, really sealed, and tak crack apa, and you need to have your nutritional facts. So that's what we will do with your ingredient. So these are the things that they will actually look through. Yeah. Other questions for anyone?
Yes, maybe I can send it to Faisal, and then he can distribute to everyone.
Yeah.
About the audit, you said earlier that so it's a planned audit, but they can still come as
Random.
right?
Yeah, they can come random. So, like in the past, I used to anticipate, okay, my audit is usually in November because usually it's a yearly. So they said, okay, you can conduct your business until 31st December 2025. Then out of the blue, they say, okay, this year I want to do a little bit earlier. Like suddenly this year, my audit is just last week. So it was like suddenly in August. So I have to, which is a good thing because then you will make sure that your kitchen is all in a very strict, clean environment, which can be a good thing, you know, like you always keep your kitchen neat and then all the storage all in order. Think of it positively in that way.
So they give you lead time before they come.
They say we need to conduct next week. When are you available? Then you just check your calendar and then say, okay, next week I'm available here. If you are really like on maybe going on holidays, then they're quite flexible in that way, but you can't drag it on until last minute when your this is going to expire. Then it's going to lapse. The moment it lapse, between that time that let's say you tak boleh jual, you cannot sell. Let's say your end date is 31st December, and then you maybe before Christmas you don't expect them to work over Christmas just to prepare your cert. You tunggulah February ke apa, they give you your cert. So between that December and February, you cannot conduct business, and if they find out or customer complain or then you will be in trouble lah. So that's the message.
One more thing. Just now you were mentioning about food handling and food safety. So that is a prerequisite to cooking, right?
Yeah, that is everything.
Okay. So with the bazaar, it's different. You have to have license for it.
Permit.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you have a
Food trader,
license license for home business, is strictly for home business. You cannot go to a bazaar and show your home business license. It will not work that way. You need to do a food trader. You need to apply for a food trader permit. That's the one that Sheila said it started like $200. Then every
100 plus.
is 100 plus. That is on top of your home base. And then again, your insurance. If your insurance is only covering your home premises, you want to do bazaar, then that will be a different public liability insurance that you have to apply separately.
Yes, correct.
Council that, so for example the bazaar is in the east, right?
Yes.
You have to deal with them, not your own.
Yes, correct. So even if you know that you're going to conduct your bazaar, let's say I'll give you an example lah, maybe
Noble Park. Dandenong.
Okay.
Dandenong.
And because you feel it's too far, but you have to go to their council because you are going to conduct that trading in that area, wherever the area is. So likewise, if you are doing at home, it's only then you're dealing with your own local council. And then there's sometimes I know partnerships where I work with my sister, for example. I work with my sister. My sister, let's say, lives in Hume. I live in Whittlesea. Two separate council. We cook at one place, which is, let's say you got a license approved for one place. So you dah prepare, and then you distribute to your sister to sell it at another council, which is actually not acceptable. If let's say, but if it's just like a collection point, it's okay. But if let's say your sister prepares something at her house and you prepare something at your house and then in combination, then it's not acceptable. But then you need to have, even though you are under one business registration, but you're preparing in two different premises, you have to pay for, and you have to conduct two separate inspections because it's two different properties, two different council, and they can have different laws and regulations. So you have to be a bit mindful of this. I know some people try to go around this. It can be a collection point, yes. But then again, whatever that collection point, you need to maintain the temperature. Because I've seen, I don't know, like bazaar, for example, right? You prepare from home and then you bring it to a bazaar. And then sometimes when they do random check and then they say your temperature don't meet, they will ask you to throw. You are not allowed to sell. So even though your nasi banyak macam mana pun, if you don't meet the temperature, that's it, gone, rubbish bin, you know.
Yeah, we've seen in
I think that's what happened.
The temperature control is not up to mark. They'll bring sand with them. They'll just throw it into your.
Wow.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's done.
I have a question. So, if for example, AMF, they want to organize a bazaar for the home-based businesses.
Yeah.
What should I know that you have to apply to council for the home
From
trader,
food trader.
yeah, food trading certification and everything. But what should we look out for from these businesses? What should we ask for apart from insurance and public liability?
As an organizer,
Yeah.
what do we look out for?
So, let me share. So based on our experience, you have to make sure every single person that you are vendor that you're gonna get their safety supervisor, food handling certificate. Meaning they need to show you their license from their home base permit validated by council, plus dia punya permit from food trader. These two will go together. So you just need these two plus public liability that the vendor should have. So once these three dah ada, you can ask for presentation to your council lah, that this is what you will be asking from the vendor. And then but again, as an event organizer, you also can ask the council whether you need to also get your own public liability lah, but must be about 20 million and above. And then make sure lagi apa dong, our council is like, again, Wyndham is pretty good and easy, so they can provide you any area and they will work with you. And they like to have all these things coming up, and they will definitely be very supportive. I'm just talking because I'm based on Wyndham.
Any other question?
Dah.
Yeah. So I did mention again, no pets. They are very strict on, because sometimes when you have cats and then cats climb over your benches and things, how do you control that? That the fur doesn't go inside your food. So they are quite strict with that.
Macam for me, we have another separate transport business. So meaning the council even, so how are you going to transport this to Southeast? Then we have to show them we have a delivery bag. So they will really literally look at the delivery bag. So these are the things that you just need to prepare yourself to answer lah kalau AHO tanya.
What about your partners at home? Do they need the same thing?
To be honest, you need the food handling punya certificate. Like macam my partner kat belakang tu, dia pun ada dia punya own food safety. He was more before me. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, you need to have maximum only 3 people at home within that area of audited place yang dah validated by your council. So maximum 3 tak salah, and all of them must have a food handling punya certificate.
So you can have, like, let's say you have a daughter to help you out with the business, right? So your daughter also must have food handling. You and your spouse has food handling, but no need for all 3 to have food supervisor. You just need one person, and that person will be like basically the admin to be the one licensing with the council, and your name will be like, okay, you are going to be the one that manages the temperature control checks. So more like a manager for your spouse and child.
Maybe I can add on. Like for myself, kadang kita masak betul-betul banyak, so kita need helper kan. So we will get someone to really make sure they are having this food handling. And I think Kak Nora pernah pass this link to, that's the same thing we will ask for the food handler to help us. So you can use that link and it's free. It is also Victoria White is proper. So you can use that.
Sorry.
It's okay.
This is if you're comfortable answering, but to start a home-based food business, what is the most comfortable amount to have? Because obviously with council permits and everything, there's money you need to. And you mentioned like the delivery bags and all that. Like you need to think ahead. So how much?
Alright, it was way back in 2019. At that time, the cost is not like now. Everything has gone up. At that time, registration fee is like just 600 plus. Now it's all, some even gone up to 900. So
Different council.
Different councils. These are the things that you need to ask them in your email. I said, first thing you need to do, email your intention to the council. This is what I want to do. Then they will ask you for a list. So in my business plan, what their expectation is, not only just who are your audience, like your business customers, the audience. I need to also prove my SWOT. The SWOT, I'm not sure whether you're familiar. SWOT analysis, your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. It's like literally a business plan. And then you see your startup costs. So that is where in the business plan itself, you can give gauge. So if you, let's say you know that, okay, you want to do a bakery at home. Minimally, you need like a mixer, you need an oven. So you can start to look up online for prices, and then you just add on to your business plan. So this is what I need in order for me to run or operate my business from home. Basic. It might not be foolproof, because eventually then you find out, oh, I need something else. I need to buy this. I need to buy that. But that will be as part of your operational or SOP. You call it your standard operating procedure. So when your next audit and they ask, okay, then you have your version 2 of your business plan, or you encounter additional expense or anything like that, then just inform them. All they need is like for you to notify them, and that's it. Okay.
I think the best cost, I would say you need about 2,000 with everything, because you might need to have you have your own freezer. You need to have, kalau you baking, you need to have your own personalized, macam Sarah dia ada punya cake fridge. Is it called the same thing I said? Cake fridge. Yeah, so that's another investment. And then like Thermomix, itu dah 2,000 plus kalau you nak pakai. Then you just have to say lah, this is what I'm going to use for my baking or my cooking, and then this is, kalau you ada lagi satu, this is for my own personal use. They just want to know. You just be confident. And then in fact, sometimes like what Sarah say, some things you need to hide kalau time inspection, because the more you put there, the more they're gonna question. Macam air fryer pun semua ni kan, dia kata, is this for your customer or yourself? Might as well I just simpan dekat dalam, jadi tak payah tanya, that kind of thing. So just do it smart lah.
How about oven and cooktops? You have to accept.
So oven is exception, because some people they install, I think macam Kak K have two ovens, but if you have a big oven, then you say that you will sanitize it after every use, so you ensure that your oven is safe for your whatever that you bake for your customer. So you have to, that must be part of your SOP. After every use. Okay. Even like mats, right? Sometimes for aesthetic purposes, people put like kitchen, the mats ni cantik lah, but it's actually not allowed. They start to question. I got one time when I very first started, I put mats in my kitchen just for aesthetic. And then they said, when was this last washed? Then I said, on Saturday. I said, not good enough. You have to wash it daily. Are you willing to wash it daily?
That's why. So time audit to remove aja.
So we just remove it. Just remove the impediments. Then tak pening kepala. Then don't have to worry about your next audit.
Lepas balik, then just put back lah. That's what they do. A lot of people do.
I mean, like if you're not
Tak
cooking
kisah.
for your customer, you say it's for my home use, then it's okay. If for your home use, it's fine. But when you start to do for your customer, the expectation is you remove it and make sure that it's clean. Yeah.
So cooktops are the same too.
Cooktops are the same as well. So sanitize. They are very strict on cleaning. Even the temperature, you need to have hot and cold water. That's why if let's say if you are in the process of buying a home or renovating a home, that is a good time, because when I first moved to where I'm staying now, I have all this in mind already. These are the things I asked my council. I'm renovating my house. I need a dual sink, so that's why I have 2 sinks. Where is my placement of the sink? Hot water, cold water. I must make sure I have hot water here, hot water dishwasher. All this pre-planned. And then I said, I'm gonna have wood flooring. Is it acceptable? Because they said food and wood cannot touch. But wood flooring is acceptable because you can easily mop it. Then you need to show them, okay, this is my for mopping, this is the product that I use for cleaning. Even disinfectant, that time I used some brand which is not hospital grade. They question it. You need to move to a hospital grade brand. They said, okay, can you provide a list? They will provide a list. So they will work with you. They said, okay, what is suitable from your inventory that I can use? So he will say, okay, I think White King ada disinfectant. It's very easy. You just spray Dettol, but White King, I think is you can get it very easily.
Multi-purpose, hospital
yeah,
grade.
as long as it's hospital grade, they are fine. Like this alcohol swab is something new. In the past, they don't really ask. Then out of the blue, I said, how do you clean your thermometer? I said, I just clean it with hot water. Not enough. Alcohol. So then I make sure that my next audit, I have all this prepared. My alcohol swab is available, readily available.
So like if we chose to make like lemonade stand, would it be okay if we just made on the spot there?
If you
that's like a separate space, just nearby, just next to it, would it be okay if we just made on the spot over there?
If you are if you have mentioned that this is going to be your work area for you to sell, you cannot do it, let's say, at your dining table. I know it's bigger space, but it's actually not allowed.
No, I'm talking about like just like right next to where you like sell it, like yeah, like not like fun like in your dining table or anything.
Yeah, if it's within the workspace, yes, you can. Yeah, but let's say when you say next to it, if it's outside, if your next is your al fresco, right? It's also next to it, but it's considered outside your work area, then it's not allowed. I think exception is like, let's say you have a fridge or freezer in the garage, you can declare that, because I recently have to have additional fridge in the garage and freezer in the garage. They allow it. Then they ask like, okay, because you keep your dustbin, sometimes you park at tepi, you forget to. But as long as the dustbin are closed, then they're pretty alright, like. Some of these things you have to like just justify why you need it there. I said, okay, because this fridge we tersalah beli is a bit tall and cannot fit under we're supposed to replace it, but it doesn't fit, we have to put it in the garage. So they will work with you. I mean, they will allow you, but just make sure the area, you don't attract pests or dirty,
Yeah.
So before you start before you send the proposal to your council, does it mean that you have to register as a business first, or wait until they come back to you and then you start preparing?
You will need to register first. You will need to register first, because that's the first thing they ask. Do you have a business registration?
Right.
If you don't have, you cannot operate a business. That's it.
About the dual sink requirement and the hot water requirement, like does it need to be separate tap or
Tak payah.
can mixer?
You can as long as you can switch between hot and cold. That is fine. That is
Do
fine.
they
Yeah.
check like the temperature?
Tak.
Usually they don't check. You just declare that okay, my tap has hot and cold. Unless your health officer is really very particular, they want to check. So far okay. But yeah, I know in Whittlesea they are very strict. So they are the ones who told me my eggs cannot be, even though the fridge literally have that egg compartment, I cannot have it on top. I have to put it at the bottom. If I want to put it on top pun, I put inside like a Tupperware besar, like a big Tupperware. So even if one crack, it doesn't drip. They want to avoid contamination. And food labeling, so I forget to mention, because sometimes you prepare, I know like some of us are too busy, you prepare everything up front a few days and then you freeze it, right? You need to make sure you put dates on it. You put the dates. Then got one time I was asked, because I took it, it was frozen, and I took it out and thawed it. So from freezer I moved it to the fridge. But obviously the date is like a past date, right? And then they start to question, because it's in my fridge. I said, why is this dated like 1 week ago? I said, I just took it out from the freezer. Then that's all, you just need to justify. Otherwise then they would think like, oh, you have kept it in your fridge for more than a week, Then how you want to make sure that this is safe for your customer? So all these questions will come up.
Maybe my advice is, if you know you punya environmental health officer is coming to inspect, 2 weeks tu, you tolonglah habiskan apa yang ada kat dalam fridge tu or your freezer. Jadi kurang barang kat dalam tu. So when it's kurang, then they won't ask so much question. And this is based on my experience too. Because kita mana nak kena, because like macam kita orang semua ni, mat semua kita kena campak ke tepi, air fryer, thermomix, kalau tak ada more than one, you tak boleh pakai. So you nak kena make sure everything is easy to go through during your inspection. Jadi macam telur, janganlah beli sampai berlambat-lambat, beli satu dulu bila nak tahu nak inspect tu kan. Beli satu, nak kena on that 1 week tu, you nak kena kemas, cuci your fridge semua, lap-lap, sanitize. Your kitchen top semua nak kena splendid, clean, shiny. These kind of things, that's what we do. That's why kalau you nampak semua, kalau 1 week tu kita betul-betul kena bersihkan kitchen. Anywhere pun sama. Restaurant ni semua lah, when they go through inspection.
So would you say it would, I mean, I don't know how to word it, but would you say it's better to have like a food trailer as opposed to a home food business? If you want to run your business easily, and when you get audited or inspected, like apart from money and how expensive it is it better to do that?
Yes, if you have the money and you think you are very adventurous to go around anywhere, yes, having a food trailer is good. I would say we wanted to, but we don't have any space to even park our car. Dah terlambat kan. So kat sini kan murah kereta. But if you want to get food trailer, if you have enough space, go ahead. And they will also come and inspect your trailer. And it's the same concept, yearly inspection. But one thing, there's also macam we have friends who have food trailer, also ada banyak challenges dengan generator and everything. Then they also have a lot of problem juga, and then on off tutup. So macam it's not, and then at the end of the day you buy like this about 30-40k, and then when you nak bayar balik that 30-40k, whatever you do in your business, you want to make sure you generate profit income. We don't want loss, right? So making sure you plan well lah. Yeah, like I said, it's good to have, but just make sure you buy a very good generator, others, all these things lah that is good for your future, tak menyusahkan you.
Do you think they would be keen to have a talk about the difference between having a food trailer and the challenges and everything? Because I don't know, maybe people might be interested in that. Do you think they'll be keen for that?
Do you have any contacts?
I think we have couple of friends who has this, and you can wanna approach them, and then I think one will be the one Singaporean yang jual takut apa tu, Mexican food. He also does that, and you can also approach him. He's pretty into the live sekarang kat TikTok. I can see that always. Again, that needs a lot of commitment juga because like I say, you can't be doing just 4-5 hours a day, and you need to, some of them have to work even their full time, and then after that they establish their business after work, and it's a lot of hard work, to be honest. In the food industry, it's really hard work. Really penat. Sometimes I even talk to my husband, I don't know why I'm doing this. Actually profit margin pun tak banyak, but I feel like I want to be close with the community. Our niat is different. Kita nak close with community, and we want because we don't have saudara mara. Kita kat sini tak ada saudara mara. So bila kita kenal ramai orang, we get to know so many nice people, and that's why we started this business, and that's what our niat lah. And then from there you can do so much of things.
Do you know of anyone that probably, so they have food handling, food safety, but they use commercial kitchen as
that is an option also. Then you will liaise with that commercial kitchen punya council. So it's only have one stop. You only pay like a rent, like per use.
So it's okay.
So that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, because that premises is already a food safe premise, like the maybe inside the CC ke apa, they already make sure that that's in place. So that's one option. I think like even with food truck also, you have to, if you are travelling, you still have to liaise with different council, and each one has their own different.
You need your food trader sama. You have to apply for food trader permit at every place that you nak buat. So that's the only thing lah. Just apply je.
All these are extra costs. So this one you have to really think through if that is what you really want to do. Like for me, I don't really do like the outside bazaar, and Sheila, have a different way of doing things. I have a different way. So for me, I would of course prefer customer to collect, because even I run this pass through my health officer. As long as the food reaches your customer, that responsibility is no longer
2 to 4 hour rule.
The 2 to 4 hour rule ends there. And when you hand over the food to your customer, that's it, where it stops. But when you are delivering, that will still remain your responsibility, which is why sometimes I prefer to do my own delivery, because then if I subcon to somebody else, I don't know how their processes are. How do they make sure the quality of the food is as per my expectation? It has to be my expectation, and it's hard to manage that unless you do it yourself. Okay. Any other question?
Is it compulsory to have a dishwasher?
Not compulsory, but you need to have hot water. Hot water is compulsory. Yes, correct. nowadays, a lot of places will ask, do you have a dishwasher? If you have a dishwasher, check. Okay, you are compliant, because dishwashers usually come in hot water, cold water dah ada. But if you don't have dishwasher, still okay.
And sanitizer.
You need to have sanitizer, all the detergent, the right detergent, and then should be fine. Okay.
Any other questions? Jazakumullah khairan for our speaker today. I think in summary from experience, I don't have any food business, but speaking to friends, to families, I think the main objective of the councils is to make sure that we're compliant. Right? Some of them are nicer, some of them are not so nice. I can attest to Wisdom Council being very open, very transparent about their requirements. The people are nicer too. At the end of the day, one of the main things that you have to start thinking about if you want to have a food business is safety, right? And we always talk about this public liability, because if something happens to people, and it can go sideways very quickly, right? So as fast as you grow, you just need one incident and reputational risk is done, right? So a lot of what is being put in place is to make sure that, number one, people are safe, and then number two, you are safe too. So all of these requirements are to protect yourself. It's not only to protect the customers, and it's also to protect you. And look at the different insurance that you have to get. It's different insurance for different things, right? For cooking is one thing, for trading is another, and your own business, and all of them have this thing called public liability to protect you. We have a small token of appreciation for our guest speaker today. Kaisar.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Thank you so much.
Jazakumullahu khairan for your help, for your... take a quick photo, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again to the speaker. If you can give them a round of applause. We'll share this presentation. We have a video. We're gonna put it up on YouTube too, if you don't know.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We are always we always want to do things like this. Something that will benefit the community. If you have any ideas of what next topic could be, you can approach us via our social media.